Let's get started with our interesting lineup of panel discussions that we have for today. Our first panel discussion today will explore how connected TV fits into the larger media puzzle, especially alongside digital, OOH, mobile, and social. Moderating this session is Russhabh R. Thakkar, founder and CEO of Frodoh, and joining him on stage, first up we have Prasad, Pimple, EVP and Head Digital Business, Kotak Life; Aditya Sharma, Head Media and Digital, Piramal Consumer Healthcare; Avinash, Janjire, SVP and Head Marketing, Thomas Cook India; Divyesh, Gurlani, SVP and Business Head, Apex India, PUBLICIS Group; and Sachin, Mishra, Digital Marketing Lead, Cipla Health. Let's welcome the panel. Can we have a huge round of applause for our first panel discussion?
Thank you everyone for coming. My name is Russhabh. I am the founder of Frodoh, and as you can see, we are one of the partners here. And the reason why we're partnering for such events is to create a great, insightful day around what is happening around the ecosystem, how the entire connected TV market is growing across every stakeholder, right? Tech companies like us, OTTs, marketers, brands, and even whoever is also a part of the entire buy, right? So that's the reason. And before I start the session, I just want to say that let's conclude and summarize at least 5-6 great points toward the end of the session, so that everyone here gets to know a little bit more about how everyone is capitalizing onto this medium, right? So opening questions is, before we dive into these specifics, let's start with a quick pulse check. In one line, how would you describe the current role of connected TV in your media mix today? Is it a core pillar, an experiment still in progress, or at least on the sidelines for now? Why don't you start, Prasad?
So in one line, I would say it's not even an experiment right now. It's not a core. It is part of the media mix, and we are doing it very selectively. It's an extension of our overall digital media mix strategy, rather than considering it as a part of the TV ecosystem.
Got it.
That's how we look at it, connected TV as on today.
Got it.
Same. We have moved from just being a line item where we have a CTV put against the YouTube and say that, all right, if we get the incremental audiences, now it's becoming a part of a strategy, more of, that how we can cross-device target between a mobile versus CTV. So smartphone CTV, we try to see it that where the audiences are and try to be around them. So yeah, that's for us.
Great.
For us, it's actually core pillar. Whenever we are looking at mass media, creating impact, awareness, it is actually a core pillar of advertising.
Got it.
Yeah, so we believe it's actually still an experiment in process, right? It get lot of interactions, but not as a core pillar of the media mix.
Got it.
Good morning, everyone. So, a couple of years back, it was experimental and selective in nature, but today it is part of most of the campaigns that we do. So, if you know a normal TV 360 campaign on YouTube, if you select all the devices together, 25-30% of it gets delivered on CTV by default. So we do use it selectively for certain brands, but at a broader level for healthcare, it's a part of the month-on-month campaigns.
Got it. So before I can start again, what I wanted to say is that, say there are 500-600 million smartphone users in India. The ones who are really driving the economy, making purchases, setting trends are 15-20%. And those audiences are watching content on TV. So we can at least firmly believe that, okay, the audiences that are making great purchases, setting trends, influencing purchase are on CTV. And now we can start with the discussion as to, Prasad, in a trust-driven category like life insurance, how do you see CTV complementing traditional and digital channels to build long-term brand credibility?
See, if I talk from the life insurance and that to a Kotak Life or any other life insurance company, they normally have a strong parent company already in place. So a lot of trust, if I talk about Kotak Life, we derive from the Kotak as a group. That brand itself helps us with that trust part of it. When we talk about overall digital business or even the marketing part of it, majority of our efforts are on, I would say, performance marketing. It's not much on building a brand. And from that particular perspective, when we look at connected TV, and we have always, like when it started 2-3 years back, or maybe 5 years back, when connected TV actually started, we all were thinking that it is actually replacing the linear TV. And there were a lot of discussions around cord cutting and everything. And that scenario is still there. We have seen the decline in the number of DTH and number of cable connections which are available in the country today. But how we look at it, we don't look at connected TV as a substitute or closer to a linear TV. Because the way consumer is looking at it is slightly different. The consumer's perspective, the linear TV has been always a appointment-based viewing. It's a family-based viewing. I am sitting in front of the TV along with my family, watching a serial which is scheduled at 7:30 p.m. is what the linear TV has been all around, right? And that's not what the connected TV is. The OTT platform is more person-specific than the family viewing thing. I watch most of the OTT platforms today on my mobile device, and if I like something, I continue watching it on a larger screen at home. That's how the consumer behavior is getting established. And from that perspective, we are considering connected TV more as a part of our digital media mix. Now, currently, when we look at this entire aspect of managing it, the biggest challenge is the connected TV is more from the top of the funnel perspective, because it is, you cannot click, you cannot immediately action upon it. Obviously, with the help of some CDP platforms and plus some other DMPs, you can retarget those customers somewhere else. You are viewing your advertisement on connected TV, but it still remains something like at the top of the funnel. And if my objective is to also do some part as a top of the funnel, then I go to connected TV. Otherwise, rest everything happens through programmatic plus your mid funnel and finally the lead generation and the business generation at the bottom of the funnel. So for us, it's less of a brand building exercise. It's more of a making consumers aware about our products and services and then retarget them with the help of other channels. That's how we are currently utilizing this as a service.
Got it. So if to summarize is that you're looking at CTV as a completely different mainstream viewing device than a linear. You're also saying it's a lot more personal. If some content gets hooked on mobile, you would watch it on the larger screen. And from a top of the funnel awareness, you're still finding it relevant for your brand building, right? Great. So moving to Aditya, health and wellness products often require education as much as awareness. How are you leveraging CTV to deliver both, especially in sync with mobile and social platforms?
Yeah, so it's related as to what I was mentioning that, that it's not just a line item, it is now becoming a part of a strategy as to how you go on a connected TV. Let's say, I'll start by explaining it, saying this, that the TV, the linear TV, which we keep on debating, it's not dead. It has just logged in, it has just got evolved. When you are planning, don't consider only as a reach medium, try to gain the audiences, try and, engage with them. You have a creative laddering or a messaging laddering which can keep on happening. You try and see that what's the behavior on a smart TV or a connected TV. Put a long form 30-seconder there, do a short form 10-seconder, 6-seconder build up of a frequency on a smart mobile. Do that sync always, don't try and plan it as a silo, because two things are happening. We just heard Abhishek also giving insights on how the viewing is becoming more fluid in nature. So, planning in silo will, as rightly mentioned by Abhishek, was like it will turn into a waste, right? So reduce the wastage and have a creative laddering. Try and identify that a person has engaged already on CTV, build more of education content with a smart targeting with a smaller 6-seconders, 10-seconders, because all those ad tech is possible, so leverage it. As a brand, you have to think who's the audiences, what is the messaging you want to target, do that mix, right audiences with the right targeting, right messaging across all the channels. Don't plan it in silo to have a wastage at the end of your campaign, right? So yeah, that's my take.
Got it.
We build it up for education across platform, across channels. So yeah, not just a reach builder.
Got it. So as a marketer, it will be a great balance between linear and CTV, because the GTMT will also move when linear will give you great reach. It's for them to also spot the ads and for the audience to then spot it on CTV. And a great point as to probably a great frequency can be built on CTV, and a parallel one probably towards more of advocacy consultation can happen on mobile, right?
Yeah.
Cool. Avinash, travel is a aspirational yet seasonal category. How does CTV help you create consistent demand and stay top of mind across the year?
I think firstly, just a little correction, travel is no more a seasonal category.
Sure.
Because we are seeing, earlier it used to be, we are seeing year-long demand. Every long weekend is usually an excuse for people to travel, and that becomes an opportunity for us. So it's not seasonal anymore. But yes, bulk of the demand or large part of the business comes from summer vacations as well as festive in the last quarter. So those are the big peaks, but it's become more year-round. Sorry, what is the second part of the question?
How do you stay top of mind across the year?
Across the year, especially from a CTV point of view.
Correct.
Yeah. So like I said earlier, whenever we are looking at mass impact, mass media advertising, see, please understand what my universe of consumers is a very small. I'm only playing at the complete top of the pyramid. There are only about 2.5 crore people out of 1.4 billion people that we have who travel internationally. So my consumer base is relatively very, very sharply defined. There are only about 9 crore people who have passports. Out of them, 2.5 crore people travel. Within that 2.5 crore also, only 1.5 crore actually travel for leisure. Others are largely traveling for work or visiting friends and family. So hence, whenever, like I said, because my universe is sharply defined, unlike most of my panelists, and they have valid reasons, because yes, linear TV is still valid. For people who have a large 40-50 crore consumer base, yes, you have to go beyond the CTV itself, but we've completely migrated. Like I said, CTV is core to so we've stopped doing linear TV. For example, I mean, there will be a lot of wastage for somebody like me. So anybody, in recent India-England series was on. Anybody who watches it on Star Sports or Sony TV, I'm forgetting which network it was on linear TV. Yeah, on linear TV, there will be a huge spillover, right? Everybody might not be my consumer. So, but the same property, which is India-England Test series, when I target via an OTT, I have very clearly defined interests, demographics and psychographics, which I can actually sharpshoot and target those consumers using CTV to drive impact. So we use CTV largely to recruit new consumers, stay on top of mind within this small, sharply defined consumer set, at least twice or thrice a year whenever we have mass media campaigns. At the same time, complement it with performance every single time. So whenever I will have a mass media campaign, there will always be a supplementary campaign to try and ride on that mass or high impact reach that I'm driving via CTV. So that's how we typically use a combination of using CTV at the top of the funnel, primarily to recruit new consumers, and then convert those new consumers from awareness or viewers to consideration and to transactions with performance in the middle and the bottom of the funnel.
Got it. So just corroborating and correlating the first thing that I said is, say 600 million users, 60 million the actual spenders. For you, that 25 mil, and from that 15 mil is still, so you're a great advocate for CTV, and then building onto frequency beyond that.
Yes.
Okay, got it. Great. Divyesh, from an agency lens, how are you advising clients to balance experimentation with scale when integrating CTV into omni-channel strategies?
Yeah, so as I said, this is still under experimental and in the process, right? So what we'll do, we'll start with the 70-20-10 rule. So 70% budget on the already proven channels and the audiences, right? 20% for the new opportunities like new formats, targeting, okay? And 10% is the bold experiments like shoppable TV or interactive TV, right? Same time, because it's still in the experimental, right? We first try to see what clients want, right? So the 4-5 things which you wanted to track or which you wanted to learn, like, what are the best time to deliver the ad, at what frequency, right? This turned into like, the random testing into the smart learning, right? And third is definitely also will go slow, like just putting all the budget or the larger budget in the one single basket will grow slowly with the one set of market or the audiences, and any which the CTV is right now, if you wanted to do, is most of the tier 1 or most max to max tier 2 cities, right? So the limited audiences, limited market, right? And also we'll see like, how is performing compared to the other medium. So it's not only CTV, we also active the other campaigns, like for example, social on the same campaign on the same market. So that would give you the actual thing, like, how its performance and when is performance compared to the other platforms.
Got it. So while it's still growing, it's still a part of the ecosystem which is still being experimented across brands to see what's working, if that
True.
across these 3 marketers there are different opinions.
Yeah.
But yeah, so you
The
have
agency, yeah, we need to
yeah,
get the lens which is fit for all.
got it. Yeah. Coming to you, Sachin, in a regulated category like health, how are you using CTV to balance compliance, creativity, and consumer engagement in an omni-channel plan?
So, yes, healthcare category is quite regulated. In fact, me and Aditya might be the only ones on the panel who have full-time doctors sitting in our office for regulating communication and scripts. But then again, healthcare provides a very unique opportunity. A lot of our brands keep on switching from between health and wellness and FMCG. So the media strategy that we look at times a brand will be looked at from the lens of health and wellness, and at times the same brand might be looked at from the lens of FMCG, or it is a brand from Cipla Health, but it is an FMCG brand. So my entire planning and strategy and comms, everything will be competing with an FMCG brand in parallel. With this unique opportunity, what happens is a couple of years back, 3 years back, if you must know, CTV universe was too small. It was 4 million, 5 million, around that number, and it was being sold as if this is only for NCCS AA plus sort of audiences. At times they used to call it HNI audiences, and this should be used for premium brands and so on. But then over past 3-4 years, the adoption has increased significantly. So as I said before, we don't need to plan CTV selectively, but 25-30% of it delivers by default on CTV whenever we are running a campaign on DV360 or any other DSP for that matter. Other than this, I would just touch upon one of our brands. So Revela Derma Science is a brand from our end, which is a premium skincare brand. And it is a D2C brand. It is present on the website and Amazon, and it's not there in GTMT. It's a pure play D2C brand. Which is performance heavy, but a couple of bursts, 3 bursts in a year with regards to you see branding when the season kicks in, winters and summer sunscreens and all that. So we got a unique opportunity again in 23, I would say. November 23, we were launching 14-15 SKUs, and 7 of them were to be launched in the first week and the rest in the last week. What happened is the first week launch was a pretty run-of-the-mill campaign. We went by the book and we followed the normal strategy of reach sufficiency, optimal frequency, and so on. But then the second batch got delayed by 2.5 months. So it was early February, end of January when we were about to launch those, and the year had almost been gone by, and we knew that we will be achieving our annual targets and so on. So we did experiment with CTV back then. It was Feb 24, I would say. And what happened is we were surprised that the BLS results that we saw after the campaign, there was a 20-25% uptick in awareness and ad recall on CTV compared to the ads that were run on the normal approach in November. Again, Revela being a premium skincare brand, so the consumer habit in India since 70s, people are used to get exposed to ads on TV. Now, if we are able to capitalize on that particular behavior of audiences and show the ads on CTV in a much more targeted manner, reducing the wastage and spill of TV. That really helps the brands. And certain brands, as I spoke about Revela Derma Science, the aesthetics of the creative, pack shot, how the product is being used, that looks better on TV than on the smartphone, I would say.
Sure.
How much of a good or costly the smartphone is. So CTV plays an important role in aesthetically delivering the message as well.
Got it. So yeah, I mean, bigger the screen, bigger the impact always, right? We've always seen that even for mobile phone brands, CTV is a great way to show advocacy, to showcase the build quality, the color, the actual look and feel. And if I have to summarize this again, so we have a great set of marketers and custodians who use CTV in a great balanced way, right? For Aditya, it's a balance between GTMT. For Sachin, it's a great way to also go towards D2C products just with CTV and to see the lift. So it's a great way to also enable what advertisers can, what audiences are placed across what mediums, right? So coming to the next set of questions, starting again with you, Prasad. Given the rise of financially cautious yet digitally savvy audiences, what role can connected TV play in building trust and consideration for long-term products like insurance within a modern media mix? Sorry for the longer question.
Perfectly fine. So, see the biggest challenge what life insurance as a category we face, like something like what Avinash was mentioning, that it's more aspirational, set of audiences you are ready to travel, that is limited. You know what kind of communication you need to do. Even what Aditya was mentioning, that the kind of awareness which is building on the overall nutrition part, the health part, the vitamins part and everything. A lot of people are now aware about it and they are willing to do it. But when you talk about life insurance, people are aware about it, but nobody is willing to do it. Right? That's the biggest challenge what we face. Nobody gets up in the morning excited saying that today I am going to purchase life insurance. So from that particular perspective, whenever we launch a new product, we have a good amount of time for it to reach customers, for them to understand that that particular product is good. And after that, we require a lot of persuasion to convert that understanding into a final purchase. And that might not happen even immediately. So from that particular perspective, nothing is instant in case of life insurance. It have a long purchase journey, right from getting aware to finally purchasing the product can range from 6 to 9 months as well. Now following up with a particular customer for such a long duration of time is quite, I would say, cost extensive, correct? You require a lot of budgets to do that entire part. So how we do it, whenever a new product gets launched, it requires that initial visibility for customers to even know that there is a product has come in. We focus more on such impressions which we need to burn just to get that awareness built for that particular product. And there the CTV becomes some part of it. After that, once customers have got aware, two parts. One is on CTV, I cannot drive the rest of the activities. I cannot drive clicks. I cannot drive the traffic to the website. Those things I cannot do. And customers do not remember later on that, okay, I had seen a Kotak Life product and I'll go to Kotak Life website and start that journey again. In fact, there is also a possibility because the way our products are constructed and the way all are highly regulated, is part of a highly regulated industry, most of the products look quite similar to each other, like insurance 1 versus insurance 2. There is not a lot of differentiation. So from that particular perspective, there is a possibility that I build the awareness and customer is going to some other brand and finally completing the purchase. So what we do, awareness is done, the initial understanding has come, we completely move towards the retargeting part of it and follow the customers on digital marketing on CPC side. Because that's where finally the interest, the consideration, the click that has to happen. Otherwise, it's very difficult to convert that awareness, understanding into a final lead and purchase. So that's how any life insurance company will do from full funnel perspective, where CTV become parts of the top of the funnel.
Got it. But so also wanted to touch upon a point where there would be subsets that you have like Kotak Prime, Kotak MF. They are also live during the year. So that also builds some rub-off effect into...
So generally what we have seen that for select categories, yes, some rub-off effect definitely happens, especially when MF. and they are doing the new fund launch offer, it gives some rub-off to us from our ULIP as a category, which is unit linked insurance plan. That rub-off does come. Same thing if somebody is doing a term deposit campaign, let's say bank is doing it. Some rub-off does come in when I am talking about the IRRs, the kind of guaranteed benefits for longer term products when I am talking about, that does come in. But can I measure that impact? Very difficult to do that.
Correct.
We see some movement during those campaigns, but very difficult to measure that kind of an impact. What it helps is somebody who has seen my communication in the past, clicked on my communication but didn't purchase, they get a reminder because of those communications, they might come to me and restart the journey. So that rub-off does happen.
I guess in an angst purchase, it does help in some ways. Avik.
Obviously, it will impact, but difficult to measure and difficult to then plan for the same.
Don't you see your brand searches going up? Brand searches going up during that period. So Kotak MF is running a campaign in March because of the tax season and whatever. And I'm assuming that same time you will also be active. But if you are not, don't you see brand searches going up because of that? And that could be a direct correlation to what happens on the mother brand.
We do see some impact, but that is not that large. And that impact doesn't come immediately. It sometimes comes with some lag effect. And some of the products we have are only exclusive to a life insurance company, which is a protection plan. The spends happen because that's where we are building the overall as a category, which nobody else is doing. But yes, when the campaign is happening, we get the brand search volume increase, but not for a particular product. It happens for a brand name keyword searches. So that's how it works. And now with the advent of GPTs or chat GPT and other AI tools in the thing, that search volume is anyway not growing in the direction.
Organic is dropped, but what we've also seen is while organic is dropped, but your direct traffic has gone up. So people see you get a view, you don't get a click. But what happens is typically people will then, because you have seen the brand, people will come and search for your brand.
Yeah.
While your organic traffic is dropped drastically, and that's true.
Yeah, definitely.
But we are also seeing an increase in direct traffic, which is also the most potent traffic, right?
Yeah.
Because your brand search or your brand or direct traffic is the most potent traffic.
Yeah. So definitely, I completely agree with you. The only difference is what I mentioned at the start of the conversation. I am not at all a aspirational category.
Yeah, true, yeah.
So nobody thinks in the morning I mentioned that I'll buy life insurance today.
Yeah. Got it. Okay, Aditya, in today's attention deficit landscape, what makes connected TV a compelling platform for sustained viewer engagement? And how does it compare to other video touchpoints in an omni-channel mix?
Surely, I don't know, it's a link of questions as to what you had asked Prasad sir also. So think of it as in challenge a brand or an agency partner face day to day. Attention is shrinking, media is getting fragmented, audiences are on multiple platforms, multiple channels. As to how to get behind the audience, there is one thing which is common in across all the things which I just mentioned is an audience. So if you go behind them, have a North Star metric as to what exactly you want to do it. So Prasad sir mentioned saying this, that in your funnel, let's say on the top of the funnel, you have a reach as an objective. So you are going behind the reach when your media plan is working. In your second part of it, you want to move consideration, have a KPI, which is like, your creative should be hardworking enough to drive a click. All right, great. You move to the bottom channel and see that whether the conversions are happening or not. So wherever, whatever objective, whichever platform you are doing it, put that hardworking KPI and not just a vanity metric and try to see whether it is working or not. So your question, which is like in the attention deficit economy, how you plan an omni-channel, I will say that every channel should be hardworking enough for a brand. So let's say if I'm planning a CTV, that's in a, in the forum we are currently discussing. Let's say your creative should have like a QR code, and your video creative which is working, you show a 30-seconder and say that, hey, here is a QR code. If you want an extended cut, I'm playing a video ad with a great jingle and say that, hey, to have an extended cut, kindly see, the entire full video on a YouTube. So that's a multi-channel strategy. You do it. Or when I was with the auto brand, I used to say that, hey, this is my new car, kindly scan it and download a brochure. Or kindly take the car in your living room and explore the world of this car, right? So bring the car alive in your drawing room and try to explore that car. That we used to do it during auto days, right? So have your creative, define your objective, have a metric associated with your plan and try to see whether it is delivering or not. Reduce the wastage as a digital planner, agency, brand, whatever you are.
Yeah, so I guess even unified frequency across all platforms, right? Plugging into different platforms, different channels. Plus, we've seen a great adoption with QRs, with people wanting to, because there is very little that you can do beyond proxy ways to measure if the campaign's moved or not, right? Probably the GT is 1 month away for you. Probably the conversion is great, but brand volumes moving, search engines,
Russhabh, I'll tell you what, VTRs, BLS will surely happen at the end of the campaign, but you have to find out that, move away from that and try to get more insight coming to you, which is like whether that audience is making that move, with respect to KPI, whether it is going in that right direction of getting you what you want to deliver. If that's happening, then it's a hardworking campaign and asset, really, right? So yeah.
Avinash, what are your thoughts?
You mentioned you've seen adoption of scannings on QR, on TV. I've always struggled with that. I can't imagine
I would still say
with the phone waiting for an ad.
No, I would still say
the QR code on the TV.
Yeah,
is there some data points on that?
Is there, I would say the last campaign was 9-10 million impressions. On that we just got like 9,000 or 10,000 QR scans. So that's 0.01, 0.02%. I'm saying brands wanting to adopt that as a strategy, because during Father's Day you would want a nicer greeting, come to your father. So maybe that QR can enable that. For just that emotion or spike, there has to be for a person to scan the QR.
That's a great percentage to have, no? Like on impressions, if you're saying that you're getting 10,000.
I always
but
struggle with
it's
this.
still a big gap.
Duration of the ad is getting shorter and shorter. 30 is also a luxury. Within 10 second or 15 second, if you're getting a scan, I'm assuming
it'll only,
and the ad is going to come.
It'll only work on a 45 or a beyond 30 or a 60. And only for probably striking a great emotion. There has to be a why should I go ahead and even...
What's more to offer? So I'll give you one example which really worked for me, okay, which I engaged as a brand, as a customer. I keep on giving reference, and when I met Tarun Ummat as well, so I told him, there was an ad of Taco Bell, okay? They were running during World Cup, which was happening in Dubai, okay? T20, I don't remember if that's correct. What they have done it is like, if you catch a 6, scan it, and we give you a 1+1 Taco Bell free.
Yeah.
So if you see the ad playing on an World Cup, catch a 6 of an India match, and write it to us on a WhatsApp, we give you a Taco Bell free. I have engaged it. So
see, that's easy to do, because you know that after every 3 minutes there's an ad going to come, and and many a time frequencies there is a definite ad coming after every over. Taco Bell or whoever is a sponsor, and that after every alternate ad I'm seeing a Taco Bell ad. So there is a lot of predictability there, but otherwise I can't imagine. Exactly.
But Avinash, if there's an incentive also attached to it, which are a greater value, right? So Indigo,
I understand. Intention might be there, but how it happens, I'm always wondering.
It's still going to take a lot of adoption, but for brands, it's a great way to at least see if there are any, even those 11,000 people will be a great way to at least have some advocacy for brands. Maybe it's working. Avinash, what are your points on how do you integrate CTV with performance-heavy channels, like search and social, to ensure your media mix captures both intent and inspiration?
I think I partially spoke about it in my earlier response also. Whenever we are doing something, our performance is almost BAU every day. There is not a single day we're not spending money on performance, because like I said, travel is an almost year-round category. It is becoming highly competitive, so we are always in the market. Search is like an always on all the time, but whenever we are running, especially during season time, like you mentioned, whenever there is a high impact mass media campaign which is largely to recruit new consumers, we follow it up with a performance campaign, because I know I've chosen CTV because I'm going after a specific TG.
Correct.
It is not by chance that I am going after a large universe and then also, which is why, because I have a sharply defined universe, I am going after them. I target the same people with the same interests, same demographics, same psychographics, and same digital signals that I've captured and used for CTV for my performance. And obviously, there is always remarketing, which is always there. So we target the whole funnel, especially when there is a CTV campaign happening.
Got it.
And frankly, if you ask me, I think CTV combined with performance, I think it's a great way to minimize your ROI. So you create impact with a
Frequency
a
building,
large
yeah.
frequency builder, create impact with a long format or a short format, build frequency, and then which is
Retarget.
largely creating your mind space for the brand, and then follow it up with, say, like you said, an offer or something via a performance ad. I think it works the best.
Got it.
There's always this pie chart where you say whenever there is a overlap, that the percentage of people who see your CTV as well as people who are your performer will always be higher conversions.
Got it.
We've seen that.
Great point. Divyesh, as CTV sits at the intersection for brands and performance, what frameworks are you using to help clients quantify its contribution across funnels, even if it's 10% right now? How are you justifying that?
Okay, so as I'm just listening to the other panelists, like, okay, so you need to first go beyond the last views or last impressions, right? You wanted to see, like, okay, when CTV ads run, okay, and at what frequency, okay? It's always seen like, okay, the ad which is seen 3 days before has the larger potential to convert into the buying or purchase rather than the ad we delivered, like, 1 month ago, right? That is one thing. Second thing, it's also depend on the other channels, right? Like how your search is increases, right? How the traffic is increases on your site, how the footfall increases in your stores, right? So those are also the other parameters which is depend and which we need to track, because we have seen like a lot of time our client has seen like 40% for 30% incremental search for the branded search for the the markets where the CTV campaigns are live.
Got it.
Right. So that is one thing. Second is definitely we need to see, and what we are the followers, like, how we tracking the full funnel, which is awareness, intent, and the actions, right? So awareness definitely will be easy for the brand lift studies and the content, right? And intent, how the ad was interacted by the user, right? Whether, as I say, like, whether they are able to scan QR code, whether is able to sign up emails, right? And the action is like how we are able to see the sales are moving, right? Whether, and it's not like clear sales, right? But like, as I said, like, website visit and footfalls on the stores, right? So those are the couple of touch points which we'll approach definitely. And last but not the least is like, the full funnel dashboard, which has the not only the campaign data, but the data from the CTV partners, along with all this site data or the purchase data from the client's end. So that give you the entire view to the client, right? And it's not just a normal campaign states, but they'll give you the entire view, like how the CTVs perform and where it sits in entire your media mix.
Got it.
Yeah, that's it.
Thanks. Great point. Sachin, how are you measuring synergy between CTV and channels like influencer-led social or performance-driven mobile campaigns?
So, to say CTV is, in our ecosystem, CTV is playing a role in each step of the funnel. So it's not just restricted to top of funnel advertising. Given the targeting that we have through DSPs and CTVs, as the numbers have increased over the past 3-4 years, CTV is playing a role in middle funnel as well and bottom funnel as well. So if I take an example, one of our flagship brands is Nicotex, which is known to everyone, even a non-smoker knows it pretty well. And with a TOMA or SPON score of 90% and 85%, there's no point in doing a top of funnel or a mid funnel campaign for it. So again, but as I said, the targeting filters which are available on DV360 and other DSPs, we are able to reach out to smokers, in fact, even smokers who intend to quit smoking. Like that's my absolute TG for Nicotex, the one who intends to quit smoking. I can reach out to that audience using CTV, and we have done campaigns on launches when it has come. We have used those filters reaching out to audiences for new creative communication. And we have seen results, audiences coming onto our website, search volumes increasing, sales increasing in GTMT stores as well as the website. One of the things that we also see, having run CTV campaigns for brands like Omnigel spray, for instance, that's the #1 pain relief brand in India as of now. So Omnigel spray sales on Amazon have increased over a period of 3 months. When we launched the new communication, it was just TV advertising and connected TV on digital. So we did not go for mobile ads back then. It did play a role in driving up sales on Amazon. GTMT were quite very well attributed to TV, GRPs, SOV, SOM and all TV guys took the credit. But with regards to Amazon, we did see a 50 to 70% increase in search volumes. And through Amazon Pie, we were able to understand where the lift is coming from.
Correct.
With regards to influencer-led campaigns, that's still quite experimental in the healthcare space. Again, coming back to the first question, there's a lot of
Really
regulation. The script gets revised in a way that it's not, influencer marketing is not as useful as it could have been.
Got it.
So that's where we are.
Cool. So towards the end, I'll summarize the points that we've all discussed. But does anyone want to speak about something that probably I've missed out on, probably on measurement, or probably on something which is for the audience to know here? Is there any points, Prasad, probably you want to touch upon, or other
Nothing
things?
specific. I think we have covered most of the points as a part of the
Got it.
content.
Cool. So we summarize how for every different
Russhabh?
marketer here. Yeah. Please, Aditya.
Your take on is CTV audiences on rural. So how do you see the divide between urban versus rural?
So I would say, and that's also part of my presentation in the coming, that everyone is fighting for the top 10 metros, thinking of it as NCCSA. Right? In 2020, almost 10 million sets got sold, and everyone foresaw that that'd be the spike. 21, it was just 4 million TVs that got sold. 2022, it was 6 million. So it's a varied pulse. It's not even a spike, right? And I would say it's just a box that is replaced. Because CTV was for me a fire stick back in 2017, right? But the content that I wanted to consume was Prime, and that was my primary reason to move to a fire stick. Right? So I would say the same is getting followed across. And the rise of OTT platforms across it, AHA, Manorama Max, Sun Next, Oi Choi. Stage has beaten UP for YouTube in UP Bihar, right? Chaupal, Dangal Pita. There's so much consumption there as well. So I would still say that, for every urban household, say 500 rupee CPM user, you would still find a 200 rupee CPM user probably in Lucknow or Raipur or even Ahmedabad. And I think the next growth will come from the tier 2, tier 3 markets, and it's already growing. Because when we enter a Vijay Sales or a Chroma, we also see Haier, we see Sansui, Intex, Impex. These are also brands which are getting affordable, right? And every TV sold today is smart. So it's getting disseminated across all these rural markets as well. So I think the next growth will come from local, regional content, and also how we stitch all of this together with omnichannel CTV fragmentation. Yeah, so that's the way you'd summarize it. Thanks for being a great audience, and I hope we've done some justice in 45 minutes to you guys. All right, thanks Rahul for the opportunity.
That was an amazing discussion. I would request all the panelists to please remain on stage for the token of appreciation.
Thank you.
Can we have a huge round of applause for our first panel discussion?
Thank you, everyone. Thanks.
Thank you, everyone.